Angels Care Home Health, serving Hayes and the surrounding areas, is a Medicare-certified home health agency providing quality skilled nursing and restorative therapy services to patients in their homes.
I would recommend Angel Care to anybody. They have really helped me regain my strength.
Angels Care is there to help 24 hours a day, and all services are covered 100% by Medicare for patients who are eligible. Angels Care Home Health. We serve patients.
I couldn't have survived this without Angels Care.
Eagle Community Television presents Community Connection with your host, Mike Cooper.
Hello and welcome again to Community Connection from Eagle Community Television. Thanks for watching, and thanks as always to our producer, Jeff Durall. We're at the Ellis County Historical Society Museum with Director Don Westfall as we talk about the Sesquicentennial coming up and also Polo on the Plains, which I guess, Don, is the reason that we're in front of the horse here.
That's right. In case anyone was wondering why we have a horse here with us. His name is Snip. He's our polo pony.
His name is what?
Snip, S-N-I-P.
Snip. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. He was given that name when he was in another exhibit, actually, as a harness horse. And that was the name of the horse of Ellis County Sheriff Alexander Ramsey.
Oh, okay.
So we decided maybe that would be an appropriate name.
See, that's
for
the
him.
reason we have this guy on, is these little tidbits like this
Yeah,
that
who was
we
aware
wouldn't know
that
about.
we had a sheriff in the 1870s with a horse named Snip? But in any event, he's here as a polo pony as part of our exhibit Polo on the Plains, which started March 21st and was supposed to have concluded May 31st. But due to popular demand, as is often said in show business, it was extended to October 4th because we have had a lot of people who've wanted to see this exhibit, wanted to see it beyond the date when it was going to conclude. And another reason we wanted to extend it, though, is because part of this exhibit involved a special event, a polo match that was going to take place originally May 23rd, but was postponed due to rain, interestingly enough, in western Kansas, and so has now been rescheduled for July 11th.
July 11th.
That's right. It's a Saturday, 7 p.m., Bickelschmidt Sports Complex, actually a drainage field east of the soccer field is where this is going to take place.
But the polo players decided, they saw that area and they decided that's a good place.
Oh, they thought that was a fantastic location for polo. In fact, the person who picked it was former Seward County Attorney Don Scott, who went to Fort Hays State. And he wanted to come back to scope out things prior to playing polo here, and he found that location. And he said, this is an ideal polo field as long as it stays dry.
Now, what about admission price?
Well, that would be free to the public, anybody who wants to attend, because you'll just be sitting in your own lawn chairs, presumably, on the berm around that area. And I should say that we're getting representatives from the only two sanctioned polo clubs that exist in Kansas, the Mariposa Polo Club in Liberal and the Fairfield Polo Club in Wichita.
So it will be an actual polo match?
They will be actual polo players. Now, it'll probably be a shortened match. Normally it'll last about 2 hours. It'll probably be about an hour. And it may not have a full complement of players. Normally you have 4 players on each side and then replacements for those. But at least people will get a sense of how polo is played, because people haven't seen it here for a while, probably since the 1950s in some cases, when the Fort Hays Polo Club went out of existence.
And the display is magnificent. A lot of pictures, a lot of information, even a Hays Polo Club jersey.
Right. We have jerseys from the polo clubs that existed here in Ellis County. Originally it was the Hays Polo Club. Then when that went out of existence, later Fort Hays Polo Club was established. But that's right, we have a lot of things to see here. Most of the objects that you'll see are part of the collection, the Ellis County Historical Society, but we do have a few things that are on loan. For example, we have the polo mallet here that belonged to Doug Phillip, who was a county commissioner and a respected rancher. And his is reinforced with steel, I see on there, which is not one I've seen before.
So the exhibit will be open here at the Ellis County Historical Society Museum. Summer hours, Don?
Well, actually, fortunately, our hours stay the same all year right now, which is 9 to 6, Tuesday through Saturday, and 1 to 6 on Sunday.
And we certainly want to always, when we talk about the Historical Society, mention the gift shop with a lot of memorabilia.
That's right. We have a great selection of books and souvenirs. The focus, to a large degree, is on Wild West and Volga German history, of course. But we also cover some other aspects of Kansas history here, too.
We're visiting with Don today about the Sesquicentennial, something that we're going to have to practice on pronunciation on, I think, which is coming, although still a couple of years away. I guess, Don, it's not too early to start planning, huh?
Not for us, because the planning and promotion has to take place somewhat in advance of this, right now and also in 2016, because once we hit 2017, we have to be ready to hit the deck running with all of our programming that we have Now, what you're showing here is a logo that was developed, though, within the Sesquicentennial Committee we have here at the Ellis County Historical Society.
Who is involved in the planning, Don?
Well, originally, the people would have been members of the Ellis County Historical Society, board, staff, and just anyone who happens to belong to the society and wanted to volunteer to be on the committee. But now we have opened up the meetings to the general public. First to stakeholders that we had identified who thought would be particularly interested, business and professional people in Ellis County, but most recently anyone who wants to attend these meetings now to participate can do so. And we don't have the next one scheduled yet, but we will be publicizing that and inviting people to attend who have something they'd like to contribute or an event in which they'd like to participate.
And what's the goal of the event overall? Have you determined, Don?
Well, of course, we want to renew interest in the history of Ellis County. That certainly is important for us as an organization to get more people involved with that and appreciative of that. But we hope that another aspect of it will be the promotion of tourism here, bringing more people to Ellis County in 2017, and that should boost the economy. Even if you're not interested in history yourself personally, you still could benefit from it by virtue of that, if you have a business here, for example, or work for someone.
This is going to be not only historic, but economic as an impact.
That's right. Those are the two things we'd like to see happen, economic and historic impacts on this thing.
Speaking of history, I have to put in a plug for Don's program, the 60-second event that he does on the morning show with Boomer and Mike on KAYS Radio, where this week we learned about the big barroom brawl that took place at the Tommy Drum Saloon between Hickok, some of the townspeople and some of the soldiers from the fort.
That's right.
That really literally destroyed the Tommy Drum Saloon. It's fascinating to hear that.
That's right. I know. That is fun to have that on the radio side of things, those reminiscences about Ellis County history. And of course that will be even more appropriate as we get into the sesquicentennial period, because many of the stories we have on there are drawn from that early history of Ellis County.
And we can go back to 1967 for the 100th celebration.
That's right. A lot of people may not remember that nowadays, but in 1967 we had the centennial of Ellis County and also the city of Hayes. We should remember that too, that we are celebrating both at the same time actually. And that was a huge event, and we hope that will be the case this time. And we may try to even replicate some of the things that they did back then, such as a governor's ball or a beard growing contest. Of course, we're also talking about look-alike contests for people such as Buffalo Bill Cody, General Custer, Wild Bill Hickok. And then one thing we can say tangibly that has already taken place in terms of the planning is that the Little Bighorn Associates, which is the premier Custer history organization nationally, has already committed to come here for the sesquicentennial. And that will be, from what we know now, June 14th to the 17th in 2017. And normally their conferences can bring up to 500 attendees, along with a lot of interesting speakers and authors.
Is the goal maybe to have an event a month or some major event a month?
That's right. We'd like to see that happen. And of course, in the course of Ellis County history in 1867, there were significant events almost every month. I mean, the one that we will start with most notably will be the creation of Ellis County itself on February 26th in 1867, and then we'll have a recognition of that in 2017. But then throughout the year there will be other things, such as the establishment of Fort Hayes at its current location, which would have been in June. That was one reason the Little Bighorn Associates wanted to come here, because of that, but then they normally meet in June anyway. And then we have other things such as the founding of the town of Rome and the establishment of Boot Hill Cemetery. Also the railroad arrived here in 1867. So there are all these sort of events that took place.
And for those who are traveling nationwide during the summer months or you know, during the tourist season, not only Kansas, but Nebraska is also celebrating theirs.
That's worth mentioning. Talking about models for sesquicentennials, the state of Nebraska has its sesquicentennial in 2017 because the state was admitted to the Union in 1867. So we're going to look at what other places are doing and try to either partner with them or at least get some ideas from them as to how we might plan and promote our own sesquicentennial.
That's a good idea for the public to attend these meetings then as they open to the public for input that people might have some suggestions that might be utilized by the committees. Then.
That's true. You never know what idea someone may have that may just take off, something we possibly hadn't thought about doing.
And you're partnering as well with Fort Hays State on this, aren't you?
Oh, yeah, that, and also I should say Fort Hays State Historic Site too, down the street here. So yeah, we want to bring as many stakeholders within the Ellis County community together here on this as we can. And although, as we said, Hayes is celebrating its, or will be, Sesquicentennial that same year, we want the whole county involved, so that would include Ellis and Victoria as well as smaller communities.
Coming up is one of the premier events for the summer months in the city of Hayes, the Wild West Festival, which also includes the Ellis County Historical Society.
That's right. Well, this is a good one for us because it harkens back to that early Ellis County history period. And we have traditionally, as many of your viewers know, had Wild Bill Hickok return. In fact, we call it Wild Bill Hickok Returns to Hayes City. But in the person of Dave Wood, a historical reenactor from Fort Morgan, Colorado, who plays Hickok. But Hickok was sheriff of Ellis County in 1869, 1870. And so he focuses on that when he gives his presentations here at the museum. But he'll also be down at the fairgrounds, or the Wild West Festival grounds, where we'll have a booth.
And we had a chance a couple of years ago to visit with Dave.
Oh, right.
Taught us a little Pharaoh, I believe,
That's
at
right.
the time, or tried to anyway.
Tried to, yeah. He will be available during the day to teach Pharaoh back in the saloon. But then he also, in the afternoons, will give a more formal presentation in the Stone Church on the story of Wild Bill Hickok. He portrays Hickok for part of it, and then he goes out of character and talks about him in other aspects after that.
And it's all free of charge.
Oh, that's all free, yeah, right, absolutely.
The Ellis County Historical Society Museum and its director, Don Westfall, our community connection.
Angels Care Home Health, serving Hayes and the surrounding areas, is a Medicare certified home health agency providing quality skilled nursing and restorative therapy services to patients in their homes.
There's not any words to describe their kindness.
Angels Care is there to help 24 hours a day, and all services are covered 100% by Medicare for patients who are eligible. Angels Care Home Health. We serve patients.
They saved my life.